Like, according to you, what exactly is a business or a startup? In like very layman terms, how you would define it to someone?
If you're doing something to make money, where a lot of people have done it in the past, it's a business. If you're doing something which is new, which very few people have tried, and very few players exist, or no one tried, that is a startup. For example, I want to set up a bakery. Nothing wrong in it. Perfect. Millions of people have set it up before. You can be a very successful person doing so. Now it's a matter of where you put it and how you'll manage operations. That's what a business is, usually. Startup is where, let's say, you want to create a cake, which is only for elderly, which is only for people going through sugar and diabetes. And that's the only thing you want to produce, just cakes for a very specialized group of people. And let's say you don't even want to set up a shop. You wanted to do it from home. And you want to have like almost 100 varieties just focused on these people. That is a startup.
Got it. So is it like safe to say for someone, if we are solving a new problem, right, that is like, that will be coined as a startup, but when you are just like uh, for example, like there are a lot of there is a Banya community in India, like, which is very famous, that they open up their businesses, they open up their shops, right? And actually they're not solving any type of new problem, but they are just selling goods, right? So that is like what you will define as a business.
No, it's not about new problem. The solution, repeating a solution is a business. Coming up with a unique solution is a startup. It's not on the problem side. In my previous examples, the problem is people wanting to have bakery food. It's the same problem. I want to have something that is bakery related, and I'm eager to have taste it. Problem is the same, but the approach and target segment is different. There's a standard bakery, which has a shop, which is a brick and mortar. You have seen them, hundreds of them before. The other one, you're very specialized. You only focus on people with diabetes, and you have 100 varieties. Maybe you make some with carrot, one with beetroot, some with chicken. You can think of it. So the solution, the uniqueness of solution defines whether it's a business or a startup. It's not the problem itself.
And basically, how to find the right problem to solve. If you wanted to build a startup and solve something for a bigger population, so what is the right approach to find the right problem to solve?
So the best problem comes from what you have access to and what you are interested in, because that makes you unique and you can bring in value that others can't easily bring and helps you to be competitive. In other words, if you look at it, all of us have like 3 circles, let's say, 3 circles of influence. One circle is people whom you already know very well. Could be your parents, your uncle, your dean, your the restaurant whom you're very close to, the owner, whoever it is, or very close to you. You have been with them for a good amount of time. That, let's say, inner circle. Middle circle is those whom you know. You don't have great relations with them, neither you have bad relations with them. Let's say you are all your previous classmates, or people in your apartment, or people you play cricket with. This is your, let's say, middle circle. And everything else is the external circle, where you probably don't know them much. You know they exist, but you never even talk to them. The best problem should start from the inner circle, or if not, the next middle circle. Choose a segment that you seem to be interested in, or a problem you found interesting. And that's where best problems lie for you. It's very specific to you. For example, in my case, I owned a home before I realized that I want to solve that second problem, the home owners. I wanted to watch movies with my parents when I was in US. And that's why the first problem. Third one, I myself had some guilt and stress, a lot of stress before my divorce. And so I understood the pain of mental health and importance of mental health. That's where the third one is. Don't look for a problem which is hot in the market, or you want to make a lot of money. No. It's important to resist the temptation of ideas or solutions. You should change your mindset to focus on understanding the problem, because problem is an ocean. It's not a simple, easy thing. I can go more if you want to understand why it's an ocean. It's very easy to look at the wrong problem or not choose the right segment or be tempted to jump on solving it than first understanding it to real depths of it. So the short answer to your question, best problems come from your inner circle influence or next above circle. That's one requirement, suggestion. Second suggestion is something that interests you. Let's say you are interested in solving problems in colleges. You already know that you know your current dean very well. Then choose your segment as, let's say, all colleges or all deans and start. It's important to at least spend 2-3 months understanding their world, understanding their challenges, their thought process. And there are many ways to do it wrong. And 99%, almost 100% times, the first time founders, they don't understand the value and the complexity of the problem domain. They end up building the wrong solution or solving something that is not important, choosing a problem that is not really that important, but looks important.
When you say the problem is not that important, so how would you define that this problem is worth solving or not worth solving?
So, if in that area of your life for your customer, the problem is not in the top 2 concerns he cares about, then it's not worth solving. People won't pay for problem number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that they have in their life. For example, let's take the previous example. Let's say you want to solve something for colleges and your focus, and let's say your focus is deans or college executive team. Let's say when you're talking to the dean, and let's say you decide that initially you may have a hunch, I want to solve this problem before you're talking to them. Let's say you want to solve the problem of deans worrying about that their college is not in the top 10 in that state or in that city, in the rankings. Let's say you believe that is a problem they want to solve. But when you're talking to at least, let's say, for B2B, I suggest the number is 7 on average. And B2C, it's at least probably 10 or let's say 11. I'll tell what these numbers are. Let's say you talk to 7 deans and you talk about their last 6 years of experience in the college, where you ask them to just speak up various challenges, not challenges, various how they do their things. Because if you ask what is your problem, no one will give an answer. But in speaking up various things, you notice that the ranking doesn't, among 7 people, only one of them talked about it or 2 of them talked about it. That means that is not their problem in their heads. You solve it, you won't go anywhere, you will fail. But if you notice that there is a recurring pattern you have seen in 3 among 7, you know that it's a problem when they are very emotional and when they speak about the consequences of not being able to solving it. Let's say the dean says that, let's say 3 of the deans say that I want to do this for the college, but I'm stuck because of the decisions are made by someone else whom I don't have control on. And someone else probably is government. That's one common theme you could say. And some of the 3 of them might talk that students have concentration problems, because of which the grades, though the grades are good, they're not able to crack the interviews. Because they spoke about it, because it is in their heart, that's why they spoke when you asked a very generic question. Those are the problems are worth solving. You may go with, I will solve the problem of ranking, but after talking to 7 people, you may realize that there's some other pattern I noticed. All 7 may not solve the same problem. That's what segmentation is. These 3 kinds of, among 3 of the 7 have this on their top of the list. This other 3, there may be the overlap, has this other 3. But you'll at least find one issue which is there at least for 4 of them, if not 7, if not all of them. That could be second in their list. They would have talked about it. They're slightly emotional about it, but it has a larger segment, right? Then as a founder, you need to think, what is special about these 3, and these 4? Which segment I have to choose? Because this could be 3 different problem statements. And that's when more business analysis needs to be done. More thought process has to go into it to figure out which one to pick. So that's how you choose. That's why I say it's an ocean. You always start here, and then you 99% times you think I want to solve this. The actual problem they want is something else for your segment, and you end up. You have to, if you're a smart founder, you have to change your original problem, because you're not here to solve what you think is right. So customer is God. What they feel is right is what you should solve.
Got it. And while like doing this user research or like talking to the dean in your example, so what is the right approach or like right way to do so, right? Since you said you don't directly tell them, "Ki, is this your problem or not?" This is not right way to explore, right? So what is the right way, like right mindset when you are doing that user research?
Right. There's a great book called Mom Test, MOM. That
Hmm.
book exactly talks of this. There are 99 ways of asking wrong questions when you're doing problem research, and there's only one way to do it right. So there's just two, three guidelines. You have to keep that in mind. Uh, Always ask for the movie. Don't ask for their opinion. That's the key one line guideline. That means the history that happened in their own life, the incidents, the situations. You should make them explain it like a film. For example, to the dean, the right question is in the start broad. Explain some of the situations or incidents that happen that are strong in your mind in the last 6 months. Let them speak up. They may not always talk of problems. They may talk about a great event that happened in the college and how awesome it was, and they'll keep talking things. So here is where you're asking them to reveal the history. You should not ask for what do you think of this problem or what is your opinion on this. If I build this, will you use it? Is this your challenge? Is this your problem? All are opinions. They are not the movie. Movie means the incidents, and during those incidents, how you felt. That's exactly what you should extract when you do problem research. Because often,
Hmm.
when you, even if I ask you, right, uh, what are top two problems in your life that you have with respect to your career? Tell me. Let's say this is a problem research. I'm asking you, how would you respond to that? What are the top two
Okay.
issues you have regarding your career currently in your life?
I'm always confused about the next steps. Uh, Basically, uh, what should be the next thing to do, right? Uh, let's say I've figured out a job, right? Now, okay, I'm 1 year in that job. So what next? I'm right now in the same schedule, same thing, right? Should I be like specifically focusing on the monetary part or on the growth part? Because I'm getting multiple lots of opinions, right? Where I'm working at. Some seniors are telling me that you should focus on like money first, right? You should switch jobs and grow in your CTC, right? Grow your money. And second are focusing or that the second opinion which I'm getting is money secondary, right? You should first focus on skill set. You should work at lower
So
salary
you're
and
looking for clarity on the priority, which one to focus
yeah.
on for your next step.
Mhm.
Let me ask a different question. In the last 6 months, what did you do about your career so far? Explain me things that you have done or that you remember strongly.
I tried to explore what I liked. Uh, Initially, I was in role one, and then I switched to role two, and then I figured out okay, role two is something which I'm liking more than role one. I tried to connect with a lot of people outside the company which I'm working in, right? A lot of seniors outside that particular organization to get an unbiased opinion because I feel the seniors which are working in that same organization, their opinion is very biased towards the organization. That opinion is not biased towards you, but they're not centric towards your growth. They're centric towards growth of organization. So I think these are two major things which I did while taking a goal of like growing in my career.
So let me rephrase to get it right. So you said two things mainly. Remember, one is you tried two different roles to see which one you like more. You realize that you like
Mhm.
role two more.
Mhm.
Second, you tried to go to alumni beyond your current company so that you can get an unbiased opinion about the rest of the world. Correct?
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
So if you notice, the first question was the second thing I asked. The second thing reveals certain things about the market, about the customer. You first thing that you care about experimenting various aspects about career paths. That is one behavioral trait I understood from this, which I couldn't get in the first question. Second, you also or care about, you also worry about having biased opinion when you ask for things, especially career advice to certain people. You're aware of bias and then you're looking out for beyond your network. You as a customer, or you're unique, and these are two things you have done. And you didn't talk of anything else because it was a quick meeting. Big question. So this is where I would now go deeper into each of them. The next question is, when you got opinions from other people in the outside the your company, was it, how did you approach it? How many people have you talked to? And as I go deeper, right, I may realize that there are probably different problems that good solutions for you. I mean, for someone like your segment, I may be too early to conclude, but let's say I talk to 11 such people like yours. And let's say you fall in one of the segments. Out of 11, 6 of them are like you. The problem probably I should try to solve is, how do I connect with people who are my alumni beyond my immediate circle, who are doing things very different than what I am doing? Okay. Probably that is a problem as a company I should think of a startup. Assuming this is a common recurring pattern, let's say you say that I could talk to 3 people outside my company who are alumni, but I wish I could have 4 more people. Let's say you say that, what I wish I had 4 more people. That's a problem that you have that you didn't say yet, but I can take it out of it. And let's say 6 more people mention similar things. I struggle. I wanted to talk to more, but I couldn't. You may just say it in 5 seconds and move on, but it's a recurring problem and you spoke about it. That means you will pay if I develop something for it. At least use 6 of them, rest of the 5 may not. Or let's take the other situation. You tried 2 different, the experimentation was there in your approach. You wanted to try 2 different roles so that you know which one you like. Let's say similar thing was reflected with, let's say, 7 more people among the 11 I talked to. Or they expressed, I only have been working as a QA. I wish what it's like to be a project manager. Let's say you say the words yourself. And which means that's another problem, which is people want to have an experience before they choose their career path than just funda or knowledge. Right? People struggle to have different experiences of various career paths they want to try than just having information. That's a beautiful problem. Then that's the one you will pay for if you develop something for it. So this is an example of, I just showed you how to ask about your movie, what happened to you, not about what you think, which was the first question. What are your challenges? That's a very, very dangerous question. You may think as a founder that you are getting the answers, but most probably you won't pay for it. Whatever you just told me, if I develop something for it, even if I ask you, will you pay? You will say you will pay. But when the solution gets developed and given to you, very good chance you won't pay for it. So to summarize, they should always ask for their experiences of what has happened in their history, their personal movie. And you should try to explore more and more into it, and being very careful not to ask for opinions. Because there may be very biased. Let's say you said that I tried 2 different things. I tried this role. I should not ask which one you think was better. Again, I'm asking your opinion. That's a bad question. I should instead ask, explain me both your experiences. How was the first one? What happened in the first role? What happened in the second role? And describe how it played out. So getting history gives you right data. Opinions always mislead you. So in the world of problem research, this is what the whole book is about, the Monetize. It's important to understand their history, what has happened to them, the customers whom you are trying to research on. And you should keep doing it till you know that any additional person you are talking to, you're not getting anything new. Why repeat ho raha hai? Usually for B2B, the number is average 7. After 7 people, the 8th person you talk to more or less will say the same things as the 7 people, some of the 7 people. For B2C, it's usually 11. From the 12th person, more or less, individuals will keep speaking the same problems. If you realize that you talk to the 12th person, something again very new came up, then continue with the 13th. There will come a point where no matter whom you talk to, wahi chal raha hai, the same stuff is happening. Then that's when you should stop. Your research is over. Now it's time to summarize two things. Some of the behavioral traits of my segment. For example, in your case, you prefer to experiment. That's a behavioral trait. Second, you prefer to seek for knowledge beyond your influence. Write that as a behavioral trait. That's what I mean by understanding the world, the problem ocean. Second thing, some of the problems, most of the problems you won't say it, but it's implicit when you're saying it. That you should write down in a summary. So 11 people, each of them, this is their behavioral traits. This is their profile. Profile means what is your age, gender, what kind of college you are in, what are your parameters. Profile, behavioral traits, and the top 3 problems that came out of it. Often which are derived. It won't come from your mouth directly, but listening to all the audio, you can derive those problem statements. Write that down for 11 people, 1 page for each of them. And then you will see patterns emerging. Customer number 1, 9, 11, 14, all of them have this on the top problem in that. Simple analysis after that. You'll come up with segments. This problem was mentioned by 7 people. This problem only 1 person mentioned. This problem is number 1 in that. Once you do analysis, segments will come out of it. 3 among 11 has this problem. 7 among 11 has this other problem. And then you have to pick and choose after that based upon how dire the problem is. How much money is there in that, the profile also. Sometimes the second most common problem among all, second highest thing in their head might be the one you will choose. Sometimes among the 11, only 3 people have this problem. But the problem is so dire and they have so much money and they are suffering so much, you'll probably try to solve that first. You'll ignore the one supported by 7, where it will become very niche. But this 3 out of 11 is also good. It doesn't mean you'll have few customers. Expand this into, let's say, 1 million. So among 11 million B2C, you are focusing on 3 million, which is good. It doesn't need to be that you pick the one that is a majority of all 11. So this whole theory of problem research and how do you pick which problem to solve without being very aware of our biases, of think of solution. Whenever you say, I have an idea, I know that they are not thinking right. You should not say, I have an idea. You should say, I found a problem. You should be obsessed with problem in first 3 to 6 months when you're thinking of a company, then obsessed with ideas, because ideas are solutions, which implicitly means you made an assumption what the problem is. 99% you will fail if you start with an idea. Always start with the problem, sit with it, understand the profile, find the segment, do some research. So what I said is phase 1. There's a phase 2 among these 3 segments, which one you choose. There's a science behind which one to choose. Even there, people do a lot of mistakes. So that's why it's a landmine of potential lot of mistakes you will do just to choose a problem to solve and how to solve it.
From your research, you have 3 set of problems, like your top 3 problems, right? So the next question or next most common question which people ask is, how would I know that someone is ready to pay for this out of those 3? And if they are ready, then how much they can pay for this? Like how much can I make out of it? Right. So how to approach these questions?
Yeah. So when you said that these are the top 3 problems, if it's a top 3 problem with a particular segment, remove the third problem. They won't pay for it anyway. What you found out from my so far my explanation is you found a tuplet, a double thing. This segment 1, problem 1 is one tuple. Segment 2, problem 2 is this tuple. Segment 3, problem 3 is this tuple. Where this problem within that segment is the top problem they have. That's what you should come up with. So it's a combo of a segment, problem. Now, if for that segment, it is a top thing in their heads, after you talk to them, they will 100% pay for it. Now, it's a question of how much they will pay. Now, how much they will pay is should think of it this way. When it comes to how much they will pay, now the solution comes into picture. What solution you're building. Now, I'm talking of the second half of the movie. So far, it's just first half. How do you choose between segment 1, problem 1, segment 2, problem 2, segment 3, problem 3, which one to solve?
Right.
first of all, for each of them, add a third parameter, which is a solution. This problem ke liye, what is my solution I am looking for that can be developed reasonably in, let's say, 6 months to a year. Same thing with the second one, same thing with the third one, right? Note that any solution solves a problem to some extent.
Mhm.
As a percentage, given any problem, tell me any problem and any solution for it. I can tell you roughly what percentage of it solves it. For a solution to really solve the 100% of the problem, it takes probably 7 years to a decade to really develop it. So that means every solution solves the problem only to some extent. If you write 2 sentences, you will realize it. Now, that particular solution that you think can be developed reasonably within 6 to 10 months, look for. So 2 things you should look at. First, your solution when they use it, right? How much time, money they're saving or how much money they're making. Do that comparison. Let's say, let's take the same example as for you. Let's say I'm solving something for students. And let's say my problem I'm trying to solve is find alumni who are doing very different than what I'm doing. Let's say 5. Now I'm talking the solution part. The problem is I want to talk to alumni who are not doing things that I'm used to. And I want to seek advice from them, but I'm struggling to find them. That's the problem state. Let's say the solution is I'll give you 7 different alumni who is very different domain than yours. And you can spend 15-minute meet with them over the next 1 month based upon the schedules you and your alumni has. Let's say that's my solution. In 1 month, you're giving 15 minutes call with 7 different people. Okay. Now, if you think of to do the same thing, how much money and effort are you able to put? Say that means without your solution, take it out. If you are able, are you even able to achieve this? Most probably no. Which means you might be willing to pay them, charge them a lot. Actually, a lot means look at how much money you save as a customer. Let's say you're a student, probably there's not too much money. Within student, let's say you're targeting a very specific segment. Let's say you're a city student and you study in colleges where the fees is so much. And also probably you don't have a job yet because you're a student. That itself you'll notice that they won't be able to pay, let's say 1,000 rupees per meeting. It may be too much. But let's say for all the 7, one thing is perception. For 7 meetings or for alumni I never met, how much would a student be willing to pay? In this case, let's say 3,000 rupees. Now, how did I come up with 3,000? I know that for students, 1 meeting 1,000 rupees is too much. So it should be less than 7,000 because 7 alumni. And just 1,000 people, if you give it for 7 people, because you need to pay the alumni also. They won't do it for free, right? The alumni might not be doing it to make money, but to help their own college, but you should pay them something. So unka bhi paisa jana chahiye. If you give 1,000 for all 7 people, that means each person is 150. So alumni ko kya dega? 50 rupees? They may not be that interested. So alumni should probably get a good chunk of it, 80% of what you take. So there is one rule in business that if you are if your expenses are ₹1, you should at least how much you charge should be 2.2 rupees. Okay, because that suppose 100 rupees ka tera pura expense hai, at least charge them 220, or else you won't sustain. Business will die. So if you do the math of how much it will take to give to your store, that's where you have to again do some research. To talk to your alumni to help your own juniors. How much minimum you expect? Where we expect to give you 15 minutes in a month for that particular person. It's a good. Most of our alumni says, "Yeah, it's alumni. So I don't charge too much. At least give me a 15-minute call, right? Give me 500 rupees." And let's say you do that research. So your basic obvious expense is 500, right? Minimum 1,200 per meeting to charge karna chahiye to sustain, which means this 1,200 into 7 is 8,400, maybe too much for students. That's when you decide that, okay, why not 7? Why let me only give 3 alumni in 1 month. So 1,200 into 3 will become 3,600. Now you go on back and see that this segment that I'm choosing, would they be go and talk to those 3 people again? And there, don't ask them again your opinion. Can you pay this much money? That again, it's a trap. Ask about their expenses.
Uh-huh.
How much money they have spent in the last 1 month, 2 months, on what did they spend? That will automatically reveal their budgets. Let's say you realize that all the 3 people you talk to, they don't get a lot of money, neither they spend.
Hmm.
That means your solution is still not okay with them. Again, refine the solution. How about one person, one alumni you talk in 1 month? Let's say that means the cost of the service will be 1,200. Let's say you realize that these 3 people, just for expenses, they spend 7,000 per month, let's say. Let's say if you remove hostel fees and all of that,
Mhm.
they're eating outside for their entertainment and stuff. Let's say they spend let's say 5,000. It's reasonable. Probably they will take it. Now you won't know unless you launch. That's the second point. But you will start with one alumni, 1 month, 15 minutes, 1,200 rupees. So coming up with a price, you will have certain theory you need to follow. One theory is 1 rupee ka expense hai, to 2.2 rupees you should charge. Second theory is how is the budget, the power of the spending power for this target segment S1, and can you refine if they're not matching, then refine the solution so that you can match them both. Now coming to your original question, if it is a top problem, they will pay. That's a simple answer to your basic question: will they pay for it? But if you're solving them the second, they may or may not pay. Second problem in their heads. Third, they will not at all pay. Useless to even ask for it. And you don't even need to ask. It's the top problem, pay karenge hi. Otherwise, they wouldn't have spoken it. Aapka hi le lo. If I give you a service where every month you can talk to one alumni who was a very different domain that you have exposure so far and not in your company, keeping the price aside, would you at least pay something for it?
Yep. I think I would.
Yeah, so you can feel it. It's a basic psychology. जो हम बात करते हैं, जो पेन एक्सपीरियंस किए हैं, हम बात किए हैं. When we talk of generic things, if you're speaking it up, that means it matters to you, and that means it is valuable to you. And for value, we always give money. We don't even need. You shouldn't even ask, will you pay? Will you pay for it? Is usually a tricky question, but think of it like a theorem. It is true. मेरा दिमाग में top problem, I'll always pay in that domain. Let's say I'll take another situation. Let's say a person has a professional life, personal life. Within personal life, let's say love life, financial life, and love life and family life. So 4 domains होते हैं: career, पैसे, प्यार, and family. That's the 4 spheres of our. Each of them, there'll be something top in that each of those domains. Let's say if you're talking about love life, let's say you want to develop someone who can, it's like a partner app. You want to provide partners. But let's say when I talk to you, I'm trying to do some research about a dating app. The question should not be when you're trying to find love experience. Tell me what happened. What did you do so far? Sorry, this is actually a good question. Regarding your life partner, tell me what you have done or anything in the last 6 months. Suppose you say, मैं कुछ नहीं किया. I just focus on my exams. I focus on my career, which means you're no point in solving it. You didn't even do anything about it. To कुछ भी whatever dialogue you won't use it at all. But suppose in the last 6 months, you tried to install some apps, or you tried to talk to some girls in your college, and you experience a lot of pain around it. You talk on various things, and probably you will pay for it if I choose the right problem. Suppose the problem is, after talking to you, you may realize that you end up poor, you end up liking, you can't open your mouth in front of them. And you struggle to even know where to begin. And let's say that's a recurring pattern when I do problem research among similar customer profiles. Then that's the problem you should solve. And you will pay for it if that's a top thing that you mentioned. How would you know top thing? If I could feel your emotion, I could feel your pain when you're speaking about it. And I could feel the damage it created. And These are all signals. You won't tell it, but the way you speak, how you speak, the words you use, the pace at which you speak will define the intensity of that problem. यदि वो problem solve किया, that is also you will pay. So you have done something about it, you have failed, and every time it happens, you feel bad and guilty and frustrated with yourself. Let's say if there's some service, let's say based
Mhm.
upon a girl's profile, there's an AI bot which teaches. So on the other side, there's a girl voice, and it try, and let's say you put the same photo as your that girl, and let's say she becomes alive. But of course, you won't do any crazy thing. But it only allows you to speak to her. Let's say on a video, there's a AI bot same face as your girl, and based upon the profile, it actually speaks like that person. And maybe it may not solve it immediately, but looking at her face, you will have the same initial reaction that you won't be able to open your mouth. Let's say the bot itself will help you open your mouth. Let's say it trains you on how to speak. It helps you overcome that initial resistance. I'm just thinking of a wild solution, but let's say it actually works. Ekbar, once you work with
Mm.
it for 2-3 times, looking at her, you are not frozen. You start to speak certain things, and it also trains you how to speak nice, how to be empathetic.
Mm.
And now when you meet a girl where you're frozen again, maybe some of the training will help. You'll at least start something. आप कैसे हो? Uh, Probably you will pay for it because that you have experienced it so many times. You're at least able to open your mouth. Earlier, your mouth was frozen. So you gave some value. Definitely, you will pay because if that came up in your research, problem research, you will pay for it. So the short answer is, if it's a top problem in
Mhm.
your head that you spoke, when you're talking about your experiences, you will 300% pay for it. I can bet on it.
Got it. And Krishna, like talking about the timeline, since you have built already worked on like more than 3 startups, right? So like how do we like why when we are starting out, so how do we consider the timeline perspective, right? So x amount of time you should give in the user research part or the problem exploration part, then y amount of time you should give in solution building, right, and finding the right solution, and then z amount of time you should kind of work towards like building a monetization stream out of it. So how does the timeline looks like?
Spend at least 2 to 4 months understanding the problem area, talking to people
Mm-hmm.
of your profile. Within those 2 to 4 months, as I said, the rule of thumb is any additional person I'm talking to, I'm not getting any new information. वही repeat हो रहा है. Talk to them. Why does it take so much time? Because people won't give you appointments all in one single day. You take deans, right? You have to talk to 7 different colleges. And to talk to 7 different colleges, probably you should approach 30 colleges. But deans won't just give you time to talk. 30 में 23 will reject you. 3 will come from your influence. 4 will say, ठीक है, बात करूंगा. That timing itself will take time. Once you're able to talk through, you will realize segments. You will like the second level problem आएगा. ये segment के problem है S1, P1, S2, P2, S3, P3. Now I have to again go and talk to each of them. And let's say you decide that ये तीसरा, my gut feel is for this reason, probably I don't want to touch it. Probably the solution itself, I can't even think of it. So, ठीक है, दो है. दो में think of, you come up with an initial thought process solution. But for that solution, there is some assumptions about this customer segment. Second meeting जाना चाहिए again. You'll talk to this S2, and in first segment, second segment, फिर से बात करेगा. This time you are covering a different angle of their experience. And then you again do analysis. And again, you may again realize that we have some solution in mind that you think, let's say you choose S2, you want probably this. Now S2 may, you probably only talk to 3. Among the 11, only 3 have this problem. Now you have to talk to 8 more of that particular profile. There's something common among these S2 that made them unique. You realize that if you look at I told that every summary will have customer profile, their
Mm-hmm.
behavioral traits and their problems. वो customer profile में तीनों का something common होगा. Let's say all 3 are female. You realize that is a very clean, interesting angle you notice. Now you should talk to 8 more female with similar profile to really go deeper into this problem again. This problem may have a lot of sub problems and behavioral traits also. और 8 more लोगों से बात करो. And once you talk to all 11, you'll realize that, okay, you have more insights now. And now you realize that your solution can be even more refined. You realize something more about this group, the solution will be even more better. Solution also evolve hoga. Again, you have to go and talk to all 11 of them once, where you don't reveal the solution, but some other aspect of your solution you want to go deeper. Then it ends. More or less, then solution will again refine a little. Then the problem research is done. That will take 2 to 4 months. And be patient for it. Don't jump into ideas. Understand the problem. That takes 2 to 4 months. Uske baad, the solution begins, and note that for the solution, it's not like you will take 3 months to develop a solution and then you refine the pricing. It's nahi hoga. You at least have to go through 15 to 20 iterations before you hit a PMF. Expect it. Each iteration is a major change in your product, major change or a feature in your product. The idea is how fast you can iterate. That's why startups take anywhere from 1.5 to 3 years to hit a PMF, where they know that the company is set. Why does it take so long? Because so many iterations, so many releases has to happen. If it's in engineering, with non-engineering, it's okay, whatever you're giving to them. Each iteration, it's like this. Let's say you want to build something that goes on a road, some vehicle. That's all you know initially. So these customers have this problem. They like something on the road, and you'll have some opinion. Okay, this is a 5-wheeled vehicle. It goes. It's slow to start, but once it starts, it should reach a maximum limit of 70, and after that, it shouldn't go too fast. Your initial thought process on the solution research ke baad. You should first build just the skeleton with 5 tires, which has no speed limit, and launch it quick ASAP. Maybe that will take 3 months. First one will take time. Itna hi hai, very crude. Now, when you put that vehicle on the road, the blind spots will open up to you. You will realize many things. That will be the foundation for the next iteration. Let's say you realize that on this road, there's so many potholes. Not potholes, it's so rugged. That what you need is not 5 wheels. Probably you need 7 wheels to be stable, even if there is so many potholes. So second iteration will change the number of wheels. 7 wheels honge. And again, you launch in the market, take it to the customers. Again, you realize that something else the customers need or something else is wrong here that is not making it smooth. Now you realize that this should not be made of iron, but should be made of aluminum. Because I know usually 7 tires ke liye iron hota hai, but for this segment, aluminum is right because this segment carries a lot of weight along with them. I'm just making up. So every iteration, you launch with certain expectation, with certain value, but when the rubber hits the road, when the solution is eaten or used by the customers, you will realize a lot of holes that there's no way you will guess. That's why it's a blind spot. Jab tak launch karenge, pata nahi chalega. And that takes average 15 iterations before you hit a PMF. 15 means almost 7-8 iterations ke baad, you will realize that now customers are using it. Now the next stage, the third part of the movie is, part 2 is moat. How do you build a competitive, unique advantage so that your target segment will use you over the competition? That's when the second half of the iterations will go. Because you won't know it right away. You'll have 2-3 ideas how you should be unique compared to the competition for the same segment. That will also take some experimenting. So overall, assume 15 to 20 iterations before you develop something that is so right that it hits PMF. And what does PMF mean? The customers, you'll have a very clear reason for your segment, why they should use you or any competition for your segment. Let's say same thing for these 3 students. Among all students, you develop some service, and there may be a competition doing something similar, but you develop something for the same segment so that despite the competition, they won't use you. There should be a clear answer for it, a very simple, clear answer. To scale your second half course, trying to find something very unique, and that's when you hit a PMF where for your segment you are number 1. Second, if you ask all your current customers, let's say tomorrow the company doesn't exist, we shut it down. how bad would you feel? If at least 40% say I would feel really bad, I never wish it would happen, 40%, that means you hit a PMF. There are 2, 3 such scales on how you know you hit a PMF. That's when the company is done. That means you have launched, you will be stable, and you will live for a good amount for a few decades. So the short answer to your question is 2 to 4 months to understand to understand the problem and come up with the initial high level solution thought process
Mm-hmm.
and launch the first MVP within 3 to 6 months, because that will take time initially always. First iteration. Uske baad, please expect 14 more iterations, which will take 2 to 4 years. 1.5 to 4 years before you hit the right PMF. Till then, your startup will be shaky. Once you hit the PMF mark, then the problem is about growth and scale. It's not about will I survive. The short answer is
Got it.
solution is a 15 level iteration thing. It's not a one thing and then I'll think of pricing. Pricing is when you're iterating, you're adjusting various things in the solution, and pricing is part of the solution. You may realize that the pricing model you want to charge commission based. And you realize that as they're talking to the customers as they're using it, many of them hate it. They're saying it, they're using it, but they're saying it indirectly when you're talking to them. They may say words like, why should I pay tax to you? That means they think commission is like a tax. Then you should think, okay, next solution, let me make it a subscription, fixed subscription per month. And then see how they feel about it, the next set of customers or the existing customers. So price is part of the solution and it is part of the iterative process. That's it. So many iterations goes in when you build a solution before you think you are stable and you have succeeded.
Got it. And like, how would you define what is a PMF to a beginner, right? Or like, let's say to a 5-year-old, right? Okay, this is what PMF means exactly.
If you give a chocolate, let's say chocolate is your product to a 5-year-old. If he has a chocolate twice or thrice, after 3 times having it, he doesn't want to have any other chocolate. This is the only thing he wants. Then you hit a PMF. Let's say to a 12-year-old, the way I will say is finding the right chocolate and right classmate within you, whom when you give that chocolate thrice, he never wants to have any other chocolate in his life. That's when I hit the PMF. Product is a chocolate. Market, M is a market, right? Market is your colleague, is your classmate. Finding the classmate is finding the market. Finding the right chocolate is finding the product. And when they fit, they don't want anything else. They're like, there's a marriage that happened between the chocolate and your classmate. And both evolve. Sometimes when you launch a product, right? After 7th iteration, you realize that maybe this is not the market. This other set of people who are very similar, but not exactly the same, really love what I've done. So it's not you always refine the solution. You also 100% you will change the customer segment also slightly. Let's say like you launch something and you realize that students in cities are not adopting it much, but students in tier 3 towns love it. There, the PMF is not changing the market, changing the product. You also end up experimenting with the market, and you realize that is a PMF. Who is the right market and what is the product that I have? Together, there's a marriage that happens so that they don't want to ever separate. Understand that as iteration is not just changing the solution, it's also changing the target segment also.
Like changing the target segment wouldn't like make the core go away, right? Because that is the core on which we are building the solution.
No.
Choosing one target segment cross problem.
So segment and problem are independent, though that segment is having that problem. For example, let's take your own example. The solution is about giving an alumni a meeting once per month who is doing very different than you. That's a solution, right? The segment can even be a professional who is working in a company for that problem. Though my initial segment is students who are in their final year, okay, that is one segment. For a given problem, often there are many segments who potentially can have that problem. But here, in the PMF, rarely you do such massive diversions. My initial segment might be students in their final year, let's say living in cities. You later realize that students in their second year actually are loving it even more and using it even more. Thoda change ho gaya segment, but the problem is still the same. I struggle to find an alumni who's beyond my current expertise area or beyond my influence. Even the third part, maybe people in tier 3 will like it. And they're also students. Fourth part, people who just came out of college in their first year want it even more. You may realize it. They're not even college, but there are close related segments. A small difference. Or you may realize that people whose pocket money is more than 20,000 rupees are the ones who really want this. See, again, you change it a little. You went to a different niche. No, it's not based upon college, city, and college and city. It's now a new element came in, which is pocket money. And let's say this pocket money more than 20,000 rupees, you may realize that people in the US also like it. US students. Got it? The customer segments are like circles. There are like 1,000 circles around the circle which are overlapping, usually. That's why when you are giving this product and you're selling it, you don't blindly only sell to that. You try to, if you find across overlapping circles, if the circle is not really liking it that much, as much as you wanted, then you should also explore. That's another topic to discuss. Explore nearby circles and see how they are feeling it. And it's good to go broad than going very deep in one of them. That means you think of 3 different circles which are overlapping but not exactly the same and give the solution to them. And if you realize that if you give it to 3 of them, one of them really like it so much, whoever in that circle you're giving to, they are just grasping it. Then that means you have to shift your segment from the original circle to that circle and then continue the iteration on the product. So both will keep iterating till they get married. And that's when the PMF happens. Product, market, or fitting. That's why it's a PMF.
From every guest, like we asked 2 business ideas which they think could work out if someone try that out. So, like according to what those could be.
See, most of this segment also has in the back of their mind their life partner, because they came out of college, and that's the first time they don't have too many things to worry about career part. Their partner part is one area they are looking at. So one business idea I have is something around trust. One of the biggest challenges people have when it comes to meeting new people, especially for a life partner or even dating or even intimacy, is currently they struggle they're always thinking, how much can I trust this person? And implicitly in the back of your head, that's always going in your first, second, third, fourth meeting. Till then, you won't open up because you have been hurt enough. So there's a trust barrier that happens between people who are young and who are trying to look for similar things in their life. Any formal psychology-based could be not necessarily psychology. Let's say there's a service, right? Where within 30 seconds, the service should allow me to create a link where it's specific questions that you want the other person to answer through text or through audio. Actually, not even text, forget text, just through audio. And I should be able to create it and create that link and then put it in my profile in my dating apps. But whenever I meet, I should ask people to please go and answer it. People should answer it not through text, but they should record the audio. And I should be able to have a dashboard to be able to see their answers. Yes, it removes the fun part of dating, but people who are serious. So the segment is not people who want fun or who are non-sincere. What I mean by sincere is, yes, you may want intimacy, you want to have sex, but that's okay. You should be sincere. This is what I want. People who can speak what they want and who does what they speak. Let's say that's my segment, who are sincere. If that's my segment, create a service where under 30 seconds, I can create a set of questions that I can ask people whom I'm about to meet or in my dating profile so they can fill it out and charge them per response. Let's say it's free to create. The number of responses I get, I'll be charged, let's say, small amounts. Research karna padega, maybe 50 rupees per response. That would be an interesting business idea if someone wants to start there. So the segment is people who are sincere in what they want in life within that 1 to 5 years of work experience. The solution I'm giving is uh, create a service where people can answer some very deep questions that you have about anything you can ask. So that you can really understand the person even before you meet, so that you can avoid the pain of meeting and then breaking up. That is one idea. So another there are some needs which are called implicit needs or hidden needs, where people are not aware themselves, but when you talk about it, they say yes, I would love that, and you're right. So one problem most of the people in that segment has, it's an implicit. They are not even aware of the problem or challenge. They would love to connect with similar people in other countries. Let's say you are a 3-year experienced guy working in Pune, in let's
Mm.
say in a tech firm doing marketing.
Mm.
Would love to meet someone in Brazil who's in a very similar place. Another guy in Brazil who's working in Brazil, working in the area of marketing or working in some tech company. Something very similar to my profile, but in a very different country and setting, right? Why would these people want to? Because the culture is exciting for them. And they also think maybe if I talk to them, I may be able to visit them sometime, or I may be able to understand my job opportunities also. Maybe what if I get a job in Brazil? Some people would love to go, or maybe that would be a life partner also. Some people want um, multiple unexpected things can also happen. So it's always exciting to talk to someone like you in a different country. This is called an implicit hidden need, where ability
Mm.
to engage, connect with someone with a very different culture, but has something similar to uh, a service which would connect, that would be an international service. Um, the details I need to think through, but the solution should allow me to filter and send requests like a 15-minute or maybe 30-minute call with someone very similar to me in other countries of my choice. I might want to talk to someone from Dubai, one from Brazil, one from South Africa, and one from, let's say, Greenland. Why not? Now choose a country, tell my profile, and again, every time I keep saying this 30 seconds, because we are in that age where anything you talk about time it sells, because we are very impatient, most of us, and that group is also very impatient. 30
Mm.
seconds, I'll help you find someone in a different country similar to you. If I don't have the person, I'll send you a notification, but at least tell what you want. That could be an interesting. So I should tell what I need and what I can give. दोनों बोलना चाहिए in that 30 seconds. Let's say you can give information about how marketing works. Let's say I'm very strong at content creation of videos. So my
Mm.
strength is content creation, and I can talk about who I want to know. That's what I can give. What you
Mm.
seek, what you seek is I want to understand the culture of a different country and what it is like to work in such an atmosphere in that country. ये दोनों
Mm.
बोलना चाहिए, and then it should show certain profiles who are interested, and you can pick one, and then it should send a message. It should try to connect them both, where they get on a 30-minute call without sharing any phone contact number.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, Krishna, thank you for taking out time. And just as an end note, can you ask the viewers to subscribe to the channel?
Yeah, sure. I think Kartik, I appreciate at such a young age, he's doing something that is value to everyone. At the same time, he's also bringing some value, and also uh, hopefully also making some money out of it. Plus, he's a good listener. He's telling indirectly to the world how to listen and how to ask questions that are valuable. So definitely, please subscribe to the channel. There may be a bell button below. Please click on it, and happy learning.
थैंक यू ये एपिसोड एंड तक देखने के लिए एंड शेयर दिस एपिसोड टू समवन हु यू थिंक विल बी सक्सेसफुल इन फ्यूचर एंड चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लेना बिकॉज इट विल हेल्प अस टू ब्रिंगिंग मोर अमेजिंग फाउंडर्स एंड बिजनेस पर्सन और कमेंट सेक्शन में बताओ आप नेक्स्ट किसके एक्सपीरियंस से सीखना चाहते हो